Alright, a little bit of cleansing rain. It'll help a little bit with what I'm about to throw down there, because I am about to spread the shit on thick, man. I tell you what, I'm gonna make you sick to your stomachs. What y'all don't realize right now is that the world's coming apart, and everybody is saying it's better than it's ever been. And the worst part is that people are willing to listen to that. You know, a long time ago, I started this whole thing about into the darkness to uphold the light sort of thing. And folks thought, oh, that sounds cool, It's like just some sort of a fancy way of talking. Just some fancy words and something like that. And they didn't realize that it's much more than just a video theme or, a crazy ass idea. Really what it is you have to actually shade your eyes to see when the lights are shined in your face, so that you can understand what the truth is. I tell you this now as I'm standing here with a flashlight pointed at my face. You may not realize this, but it's a wonderful thing, But the concept of having to be shading your eyes so that you can see. Don't look with rose-tinted glasses. And definitely look to see who's behind that curtain of white light. Because that bastard is buck-ass nude. He just wants you to think he's clothed in white clothing. I made a post probably about like 10 minutes ago now, but you guys are going to see it probably, hours before this video uploads. But the meme in the post says, the sheep spends its entire life fearing the wolves. And then gets eaten by the shepherd. So the reason why we have memes is it's our way of speaking the truth in a world of lies and chaos. It is the light in the darkness. At the same time, it is the shade over your eyes that allows you to see in that light. It allows you to go and look through that halo to be able to tell who's pointing that light at you. And what's the whole spiel of all this, Blaine? Why are you going on about this particular? And I hear you. The reason is a lot more blatant than you might think. But the methodology is so subtle that even you, Mr. Staunch Patriot, you fell for it. Even you, Mr. I don't have any friends, I don't have any allies, I don't have any government, you fell for it. Yep. Even you, Mr. CIA, don't trust anybody. You fell for it. We all chased the carrot, but ended up getting whipped with the stick. What makes an American an American? Is it geography? Is it weaponry? Is it biology? Is it attitude? You're going to have to answer that for yourself. Because at this point, I don't fucking know. Because you motherfuckers have gone and made it so that I can't tell. Congratulations. I can't tell if you're an American or not. You could be my brother, my sister, my mom. I don't fucking know. Well done. You have made it so that I can't tell if you're an American or you're a fucking traitor or you're a piece of shit or you fucking know what the fuck you're talking about, but your head's glued onto your ass too fucking tight so the point you fucking got your fucking ass cheeks over the top of your nose and all you can smell is shit, so all you can fucking speak is about that goddamn smell. You want to sit there and you want to say, they shouldn't be here. Deport them all. Who are the agents attacking? Are they attacking the people who are trying to stop them from deporting people who are actually here legally versus the ones that are here illegally? Mind you, I'm fine with, get the fucking illegals out of here. That shit's gone. Bye-bye. But the ones who are here legally, appropriately, and they're still being deported, shot, fucking disappeared into some sort of nowheres. And you guys think that oh yeah, I'm just talking out the side of my neck. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Blaine's just talking. Well, been right so far. Matter of fact, I've been so fucking on point that I have to turn around after the fact and go, well, I tried to warn you. Sometimes I don't say it online. That doesn't mean that I didn't say it. It doesn't mean that I didn't point it out to people en masse. This is a problem. It's one that the American public created for themselves by allowing a government to hold sway over their own decision, over their own person. When you left your Fourth Amendment right behind you, stating that your right to self-defense was a Second Amendment right, which is not your right to self-defense, that is the right to community defense. Don't know if you knew that, but now you do. Your Second Amendment is your right to community defense. By proxy, defending your life and your person and property, papers and effects. But it's by proxy. That's why it needed to be enumerated. The Fourth Amendment clearly states that you have the right to be secure, meaning nobody may take, nobody may harm, nobody may cause issue to. You may be secure in your person. That means your physical human person. And all of your ideas and all of your, your abilities and all of your efforts. That's your person. You have the right to be secure in your papers. Now, I don't know if you know what papers are, but I can show you a couple of them right here, right now. Of course, I can't show you the front. Well, yeah, I can. I can't show you, what is it? Where is it? I have to cover over. Frick. Most of it. So you can kind of see. But yeah, that's your papers. You know, your passport, your ID, your credit cards, things like that. Those are your papers. Your banking information, your banking effects, your banking monies and whatnot. Your licenses. You know, I still carry these even though they're not valid anymore. Pictures of family. These are your papers. You know, any proprietary technologies that you might be developing by pen and paper. That's your papers. Okay? Your property. Now here comes the fun one. Your property. Do you know what a property is? And I'm not talking real estate. Because there's a difference between property and effects. And I got to point this out to you. Your property is anything of an actual physical nature of a high price, as you can see here. Anything that might be of a large sum to replace. You know, at this point in time and juncture, certain tools that are extreme priced. Those are properties as well. My vehicle is a property. It is not an effect. Now, do you know what the difference between a property and an effect is? My clothing, those are effects. My hat, that's an effect. My pocket knife, that is an effect. What's the difference? Price and purpose. That is the difference between property and effects. Price and purpose. One of my effects, it's my cup. One of my effects, it's my pen. One of them. I have a few. Those are my effects. My properties are things of high monetary value or irreplaceable nature. So, to put it in a nutshell, you have the right to be secure in your person, paper, properties, and effects against warrantless or unwarranted searches and seizures. Meaning, me as an individual, I can't put my hands on you and go through your pockets without either your permission or you committing a crime. You cannot do the same to me without me giving you permission or me committing a crime. Plain and fucking simple. It's not difficult to comprehend or conceptualize this. It really isn't. It's kind of like the Second Amendment. It's really not that difficult to figure it out. A militia meaning an armed populace, being necessary to the security of a free state, meaning that because the populace is armed, they have the ability to defend their liberty as individuals in communion. The right of the people to keep and bear arms. It is a fundamental human right that we utilize tools, which are an extension of our arms, in order to fight, to wage wars, to act in defense. It's pretty fucking simple. The right of the people to keep and bear arms. And when they said the right of the people, they did not necessarily mean the right of the people who are governed. They said the right of the people, not necessarily, they didn't even say anything else. They did put no qualifiers on it. The right of the people. So what if it was fucking capitalized? That's how people wrote in calligraphy back then. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That last part is freaking key. Shall not be infringed means that you may not cross this line. What is that line? The right of the people to keep about their person, their home, their wherever they may be, arms. Meaning weapons of any kind, tools of any kind, and the mental capacity to use them, which is something that 90% of Americans lack. You sit there and you have it on your hip because you think it looks fucking cool. It's kind of like all these other D-wads fucking running around with their Instagram model bullshit going, hey, look at me, thinking they're cool. When in all reality, I see an idiot. And it's the same thing for every single one of you that says, well, I carry a gun because you need to carry a gun. No. I carry a gun to defend my life and the lives of others. I carry a gun because I know that it is a ranged hole punch and that it makes it far more effective to bark here and fucking bite way the goddamn fuck over yonder. So if you're doing some fuck off shit over there, I can still put a kibosh on it. Because when you've got a hole in you that wasn't supposed to be there, it'll stop your behavior really fast while you go in and you inspect that particular hole that just suddenly appeared. That is the armed mentality. That is competency. Wholesale. And anything less is mentally incompetent of an egregious nature. You have the right to keep and bear arms. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to the freedom of protest and redress of grievance via peaceful means. The peaceful part of it is the important part. If you're going out there and causing chaos and running amok and forcing ICE agents into situations where they feel their life is in danger, you're committing a crime. You're not sitting there protesting peacefully. Now you'll notice this about the 60s and the 70s. The marches the civil rights marches, when they first popped off, the crowds were shot into. The crowds were gone, they were gone through by the police with batons and whatnot. This was before the peaceful marches. This is back during the Black Panther Party crap. Then, the peaceful marches and peaceful protests started. The ones that were actually peaceful. Okay, the ones that were actually peaceful. Not talking about the riots and crap like that, like the Rodney King riots. That's riots. There is a difference. Riots, breaking shit, fucking causing mayhem and dysfunction, disorder and chaos, causing harm. Peaceful. Walking down the street with a sign. And if somebody wishes to walk past you, you let them. Does any of this shit look peaceful to you? And for those of you fucksnots that are out there going, well, I'm doing my part. I'm doing the right thing. You sure about that? Because you're sitting there and you're going and you're saying, I'm protesting. Are you protesting or are you rioting? Are you out there just simply standing back and recording, not getting involved, not saying shit to anybody? When somebody walks past you and goes, man, fuck us, you just go, or, you know, do you shrug, or do you go, yeah, man, fuck guys, I go beat their ass. Think about it. Because in all of this, you are not fucking innocent. You know what the difference between you and me is? When I went and I protested, I took poster board. Wrote down my grievances on that poster board. And stuck it into the windows of my car. And then I sat in my car. I didn't go running around screaming, hooting, and hollering. I didn't go out there fucking throwing a tantrum or a fit. And when people came up to me and they tried to tell me that what I was doing was wrong and what I was doing was not for their help and not for their benefit, and not even for my benefit, and it's just going to cause more harm, I said, that's your opinion and you are entitled to it. However, I have every right to peacefully protest, as is my right. I am sitting here. While I may be an individual, this is an assembled situation where my grievance may be redressed lawfully. That is all that I am doing. Have a nice day. And that, in turn, took a liberal who was on a freak-out sesh and looking for problems, came to me looking for problems, looking to start a fight with me so that they could put the kibosh on my protest in the middle of fucking Torrance, California, and then made them flip out on anybody who would listen to them, making their entire point completely moot. Making it so that whoever they tried to get on their side turned around and walked over to me and was like, you know what? No, dude, I understand it. That person's a piece of shit. And I appreciate what you do. Have a good one, brother. And that's literally how that went down. Because it was a peaceful manner of protest. I wasn't running around shouting, screaming, hooting, and hollering. It was a poster board in a windshield. That's it. No getting in ICE agents' faces or police officers' faces, or for that matter, the people who were my problem, the mental health fucking individuals at the fucking county of Los Angeles Wasn't me standing there with a freaking camera in their face going, you piece of shit. Rah, 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 rah. No. A poster board in a fucking windshield with a man sitting scrolling on his phone. That's it. Not bothering anybody. If somebody wanted to choose to sit there and talk to me about it, that's great. That's fine. We can mull it over and talk about it. We can debate it. But until then, it's just a poster in a windshield. My redress of grievance. Done in a peaceful manner, lawfully so. So all this other crap is just fucking crisis acting, and they are being paid to do it. And you can logically draw that conclusion. Because of what the difference is between a peaceful protest and a chaotic riot. Now, this is the biggest rub that has really pissed me off more than you could possibly imagine. It's the way that law enforcement utilizes the pox clarity of law to make it so that you think that something is illegal. And that way, even though they're lying to you, they can legally lie to you, by the way. Even though they're lying to you, you believe them. It's what's called a pox clarity. A pox clarity is something as simple as you think it's one thing, the law enforcement officer says it's another, but the law itself says that you are both wrong. I'll put it to you this way. Yes, you are legally allowed to carry a firearm at a protest. Yes, you are legally allowed to record any federal officer, any public servant. That includes Minutemen, by the way, if you didn't know that. You don't have the right to tell somebody to get that camera out of your face as a Minuteman. You just don't. If you are on official duties, you just kind of have to smile and be like, have a nice one. Because that's the fucking reality of it. Okay, so you're a public servant. Even though you're a civilian at that point, you're still a public servant. Any public servant may be photographed during their activity of public service. Not before, not after, but during, completely legal. Their right to privacy ends right at the moment that they start acting in a public manner and begins right when they stop acting in a public manner. You understand now? Good. Glad you're keeping up, kid, because you're making dinner. Now, to point out this juxtaposition, if somebody says, you can't do that, get that camera out of my face, it is your lawful right to be able to utilize that camera unless they are a private citizen at that moment. At the same time, you can't carry a firearm. Is a felony in the United States. I don't know why I have to say it so abundantly clearly. Mr. Trump, you committed a felony, sir. Again, while in office, you cannot do that crap. Yeah, sure, you can get away with it. because you're a president, and so in presidency you have this what's called presidential immunity. But that's a violation of fundamental human rights. It doesn't matter if you're a president, you can still be fucking tried at the Hague. You know, I think that we've kind of proven that a dozen times over. Recent history, by the way. But anyways. Carrying a firearm is not the same as using it. If I walk around with a rifle on my back, that's just carrying a firearm. If I take that rifle and I bring it up and I aim it, that is the bearing of a firearm. And while I have the right to do that, that does not mean that I might not be committing a different crime. For instance, you're not allowed to murder somebody. Doesn't mean you're not allowed to defend other people and by doing so take that other person's life that's trying to take that other person's life. You know, that this is what it's what I'm talking about with that pox clarity. You need to know the minutia, the finest point of every part of the law, so that when the time comes that the officer looks at you in the eye and goes, well, shit. You know why they're saying, well, shit. And it's because they can't arrest you, because you paid attention to the law and you were able to utilize it to your advantage. Understanding pox clarity is one of the most powerful things that an American citizen has in their bag. An ICE agent has no jurisdiction over an American citizen unless that American citizen assaults that ICE agent, physically speaking. That is the law. So, to avoid the pox clarity issue with this, don't go out there getting in ICE agents' faces. If they're doing their job, just fucking watch them. Record with your cameras. Turn that over to the appropriate authority. It is not your job to get in their face, physically speaking, because they are doing their lawful job. The moment they put hands on an American citizen who has done nothing to gain that, there's a difference. And as an American citizen, you have every right to sit there and videography them. You do not, however, have any right to put your hands on them. I don't give a shit if they're fucking sitting there beating the dog shit out of a woman wailing on her. You don't have any right as an American citizen to put your hands on them. Now, if you believe that that particular person, that individual's life is in incredible danger at that point in time, you have the right to utilize deadly force at that moment. So, as far as this instance in, where's it, Minnesota, or Minneapolis, Minneapolis. If I remember correctly, the way that it was said in the Native American tongue was Minneapolis. Minneapolis. It's not an American, it's not an English term. It is a Native American word. No, it's not fucking Somali. I don't know where the goddamn fucking country fried fuck you guys got that shit from, but it is not fucking Somali. Minneapolis was a war chief Go fucking figure, right? A lot of people don't realize it actually came from a Native American term that was also a specific Native American's name. That was put as the name to a place. This is why history is important, not just for learning other things like being able to know Pox clarity when you hear it, but also being able to sit there and see somebody making an entire fucking ass of themselves by saying, "Oh, well, Minneapolis is it's a Somali held territory. It's always been Somali. It's Somali in name." No, it's not, motherfucker. You are a retard. It is a Native American term, and a Native American word, and a Native American name. Kind of like, Wayne is a Native American word. Wayner is a German word. You see, this is why I get a little bit peeved, because when people sit there and they change things about history, they're not letting you know why they're doing it, but you find out later on down the line. Minneapolis. What's the difference? Minneapolis. What is the difference there? One is a Native American term and one is a Greek Nubian term. Now, do you know where Nubia is? If you said Somalia, you're correct. Now, do you know when they changed the name from Minneapolis to Minneapolis? 10 points in the comments for you if you did. You figured it out. If you remember, that's even better. Because you were around for a long time then. You're one of the old hats that know what you're talking about. But if you were able to research it and learn it, still 10 points to there. 10 points to that house. 10 points to Gryffindor or whatever the fuck you want to. But still, same is. This is why when they sit there and they change the names of forts, it pisses me off royally. I'm not in the military. I'm a militiaman. I'm a Minuteman. I'm not military, I'm civilian. But you call Fort Hood or Fort Bragg or anything, something different? What the fuck did they call it? I don't even fucking know anymore. I don't care. Something stupid. But you're taking away from our national history at the same time as you are destroying the history of that site, which inevitably makes you a tyrant. This nation was founded on destroying tyrants, on stopping tyranny in its tracks, on being rebellious by nature. So, if you're gonna be a tyrant, get the fuck out of my country. I don't give a shit if you're a fucking if you were born here in America. That does not make you an American. It doesn't. Geology, as I pointed out at the beginning of this video, does not make you an American. Attitude does. So if you have the freaking the testicular or ovarian fortitude to be an American, go down there in the comments and make sure that you use the word of the day. Shout out to old Joe Morgan, Eat My Shorts channel. The word of the day is justified. Because the shooting itself was not justified. Arresting him, talking about Mr. Pretty, that would have been a justified action. But shooting him was not. Especially not the last 6 shots. Come on, dude. You've already fucking put him down. He's dying. That's just a waste of lead at that point. You're already prison fodder. You're going to end up being Bubba's bitch. Just deal with it. 6 rounds now? Okay, fuck. 12 rounds? Dude. You're done. Just go put the gun in the lockup. Your ass is off the line. Plain and simple. You have no professionality about you. I don't care if you're a paid crisis actor. That's a step beyond. That is, in essence, treason. You're stopping the commerce of an American citizen. What was that commerce? He was recording video. Where's he going to put that video at, huh? Maybe YouTube? Maybe Instagram? Maybe X? Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Maybe Reddit. But he's going to put that video somewhere. And while it may not be a monetary commercial application, meaning it does not gain a profit, it still has influential profit to it, which in essence makes it commerce. That ICE agent committed an act of treason. Sorry, but I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to tell you the truth about it. That ICE agent committed an act of treason, and I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. You are what you do. Not necessarily what you eat, as is evidenced by yours truly. I mean, I'm pretty well physically endowed, and I eat like a freaking... If people ate as much fat, butter, and fucking carbohydrates as I eat, they'd be calling them freaking jelly roll, having to roll them down the street into the freaking ER. But anyways, I digress. So like I said, justified. No matter what you do, be justified in it. Don't do things unjustly. Act according to morality, as is appropriate. Anything less is uncivilized. And if you wish to be uncivilized, you're not going to like it. Because the response is that you get to see the real monsters of the world. This has been Ye Old Guardsman. Motherfuckers, I'm out.